Hi everyone, I'm out at the field today with my latest build. It's a one of our NAMC Mig-35B that's been around for over a year now. This is a unique build for me. It's the first plane that I've built entirely with Tree Foam, or better known as Adam's Readiboard. So if you go down below in the links, I started a thread on the NAMC blog describing in detail my build, things that I learned. And unfortunately, my first maiden was only lasted about 2 minutes. I've got a brand new nose on here now. Had a bad ESC, but anyway, that's another tale of woe for another time. So let's just thrash her in the air here. You've heard me talk a lot about the Mig-35B, so I won't yammer on about the plane, but mostly just my impressions about the build and how it flies. So here we go. So this took me about 3 and 2/3 sheets of Adam's Readiboard, you know, the 20-inch by 30-inch. The parts on this plane actually fit really well. I had to make one little modification on the front of the wing plate, but I was able to keep the wing all in one piece. One of the things I noticed as I started flying it is because all the paper is left on the back end for added strength, it is a little bit tail heavy. So it's about I had to move my battery about 1/2 inch further forward than with my other Mig-35Bs, and I also have my speed controller jammed fairly far forward. But other than that, it actually still feels pretty balanced. Cost-wise, I'll keep everything in US dollars even though I'm from Canada. The foam cost me about 94 cents US a sheet, and normally if I built this out of Depron, I use like Depron for the wing and stuff, and MPF for the fuselage, Tree Foam for the KF airfoils. That cost me just over 11 bucks. So even I had to buy a little can of Minwax to seal the paper, and even with that, I came in around the same cost as what it would cost to build out of Depron MPF mixed. So I needed a little extra glue, so let's round it off. Let's say it's about $4 US in foam and a little bit extra glue. The Minwax, little can of Minwax, I could probably build about dozens of planes. One thing I noticed, because even with the paper on, Tree Foam or the Adam's Readiboard is 5 millimeters thick as opposed to 6 millimeters for Depron and MPF. So like the vertical stabilizers, elevons, all that stuff, you know, they're about 16% thinner. The fuselage is paperless. Haha, the moose is loose, baby! Is paperless, so it's actually about 3 millimeters less frontal profile than if I built it out of MPF. And I noticed right away, once I got it balanced, that it just feels so much quicker and faster because of that reduced frontal area. You know, the wing being 3 layers of actually paperless dollar store foam is, with the paper off, it's about 4.5 millimeters. So the front of my wing is 13.5 millimeters thick with KF4 airfoils as opposed to 15 if I built it with, you know, MPF or Depron and then used KF airfoils made out of the Tree Foam. The wing is really strong here. I'm just going to throw it into a high-speed turn. I've been just thrashing the heck out of it here to see if I can see any wing flex, and I'm really impressed with how strong the wing is. All the back-end surfaces, the vertical stabilizers, elevons, they're reinforced with a little bit of bamboo, but still, you know, very, very strong. So I'm just going to bring her around here for another nice low pass before we land. Yeah, baby, rock and roll. So I've been playing around with flaps here. I'm going to explain a little bit after I get it on the ground to try and make the landings a little slower and softer. Nice. Okay, so there we have it. The plane weighs, this plane with the components I have on it, it weighs 21.4 ounces. With a, I'm just going to put my transmitter down. The grass is really wet here today, which is actually a good thing to evaluate the waterproof. I'm just going to unplug my battery here. I don't have any issues. Okay. All right. So yeah, so the paper essentially starts at the back of the trailing edge of the KF here, and it's been treated for sealed. I sanded and everything. It's been sealed with Minwax, the oil-based polyurethane Minwax, and well, the water is just, you know, beading on it, which is good. I know it's probably going to be hard for you to see here, white background, clear water drops, but it's actually beading all over the bottom here. This has all got paper on the bottom, so that's working really well. The nacelles here are have the paper off them, so they're a little bit flexible, but I think what I'm going to do, I mean, it's not affecting how it flies, but I've got some thin sort of tongue depressor sized craft sticks I think I got from the dollar store, so I'm going to slide those sort of in there and glue them on there, just give this sort of seam here a little bit more strength. So one thing you do have to be careful of, because this is all paperless, the fuselage and these nacelles, is I do have to be a little bit more careful in how I handle it, because the Dollar Tree foam is softer and more flexible. So, you know, I'm always picking it up. There's a bulkhead right here, so if I have to pick it up here, I sort of squeeze it by the bulkhead so that I'm not crushing the foam. Otherwise, I'm, you know, just sort of handling it by the wing. But yeah, super impressed. I went with my friend Peter from Kamloops, who I owe a great debt of gratitude. He helped me with all of these build techniques, and without his help, I'm sure I would have either ended up with something that weighed a ton or or looked pretty sad. But I'm very impressed, very happy with this. So big thanks to Peter. So anyway, this paint scheme is sort of loosely based on a commemorative paint scheme that 419, the Moose Squadron from the Royal Canadian Air Force did, and they're actually the City of Kamloops Squadron, which coincidentally is where Peter's from. So that's kind of a neat tie-in. So that's why I sort of yelled out, "The Moose is loose," because they're the Moose Squadron. Anyway, yeah, very impressed, very happy. Like I said before, please check out the links down below. You can read more detail in my blog thread that I've started, and I'll keep adding to that as I fly it more and more. That's about 7 flights. That was flight number 8 there just right now today. So yeah, super impressed. It takes a little bit more time and a little bit more patience if you really want a good finished product with Dollar Tree foam, but you know, considering the cost, it's definitely a viable option if you can get your hands on Adam's Readiboard. And because of the way these plans were laid out, it was really quite simple. Not a lot of mucking around with you know, having to cut a bunch of pieces up. So anyway, again, Peter, I owe you a great debt of gratitude, and my deepest thanks for your help. Really, now that I've got my speed controller sorted out, just loving how this plane flies and how it looks. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without your help and support and your patience in answering all my questions. So thanks very much. Thanks everybody for watching. Blue skies, calm winds to everyone. Park jet noise, the other sound of freedom, baby. Take care.